Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Really exciting day today. We've got the Space Marine Codex, pre-ordered it, so went down to Games Workshop the moment it opened and got the new Codex. Really excited to start doing reviews on it. So this is going to be part one. This is going to cover, as you've probably seen from the title, Dorn's basically progeny. So it's going to cover the Imperial Fists, Crimson Fists and Black Templars. It's going to cover their special characters, warlord traits, relics, etc, etc. So if you're collecting one of those chapters, you'll have everything you need to know. Or if you're just interested or you're still making your mind up, obviously you can follow along as well, and we will get stuck in. Beautifully, I haven't got too much time to go over sort of the production quality, but it's a beautiful codex. The front cover's just really cool, really cool. Really nice displays inside, loads of ideas for different chapters, loads of background, lots of rules though as well, because obviously you've got Primaris in here as well, so this isn't, for those who are more rule oriented, this isn't just, a load of fluff you're paying for. There is a lot of rules in here. So just to cover first off actually a couple of Space Marine wide rules. The Lost Librarius, which is that Black Templars can't have psychers, standard stuff, but I like the fact they've made it a rule. It's not, so you can't kind of go, oh, yeah, somehow I've got a librarian in my army. It's just, you can't take them. Sorry, that's the end of it. And They Shall Know No Fear, which is universal to the Space Marines, which is you can reroll morale tests for the unit, which is a really good one to have. To be fair, morale's a big thing in 8th edition, much more important than it was, and the average leadership is much lower, so that's really useful. So we're going to start with Captain Lysander, obviously a massive tank in the previous edition and pretty much beat the snot out of everybody, so going to be quite interesting. The points are still at the back, by the way, with everything, so we'll flip back and forth. So you've got Captain Lysander. He has movement 5 inches, so he is quite slow. Weapon skill and skill 2+, strength and toughness 4, wounds 6, so really tough, wounds 6, 4 attacks, 9 space attacks, leadership 9, and a 2+ save. He's got the Fist of Dorn, and so the Fist of Dorn is incredible, really. It's +6 strength, so he's strength 10. It's AP -3, which is nice, and it's damage 3, so you are guaranteed damage 3 from that Thunderhammer. So a wonderful start to him, great stat line, great weapon. He has a They Shall Know No Fear. He has an Iron Halo and Storm Shield, so he has a 3+ invulnerable save, so they sort of combine to give him that perhaps. So again, incredibly well protected. He has Rights of Battle, which basically every commander in the Space Marine Codex has, which is you can, well, any chapter master that is, you can reroll hits of 1 made for friendly Imperial Fish units within 6 inches, so that's combat and shooting. Reroll all hits of 1 within 6 inches, so that's nice. So the unit or 2 units around him are going to benefit from that and make them more reliable. He has Icon of Obstinacy, which is add 1 to the leadership of all friendly Imperial Fists within 6 inches of Lysander. So again, brilliant, makes your army really reliable, along with And They Shall Know No Fear. You can really imagine that Imperial Fist battle line with Lysander at its centre, making everyone braver and also beating the snot out of anything that gets to them anyway. And they're holding that line, so I think that's a cool fluffy rule while also being useful. And Teleport Strike, which is just you can set them up on the battlefield from what is now Deep Strike within further away than 9 inches. So Lysander will set you back 150 points, and to be perfectly honest, I think he's a steal for that. I think I'd pay 175, 180 without asking many questions. Great stat line, great rules, great equipment. Just brilliant and fluffy, really Imperial Fist. So he's a really good start. We've then got Pedro Cantor, so the Crimson Fist chapter master. He's got a 6-inch move. He's actually got the same stat line as Lysander, basically, apart from he moves 6 inches because he's in kind of lighter armor. So there you go. So that's good stat line. He's armed with Dorn's Arrow, a Power Fist, and Frag Crack Grenades. We'll cover the grenades here because then it's done for the whole codex. So Crack Grenade is 6 inches, Grenade 1, Strength 6, AP -1, D3 damage, and Frag Grenade is 6 inches, Grenade D6, Strength 3, AP dash damage 1. So some basic stuff done there. Dorn's Arrow is 24 inches, Assault 4, Strength 4, AP -1, damage 1. So it's okay, it'll chip away a few extra bits of damage if he's with some Terminators with Stormbolters or a tactical or Stern Guard squad, but it's not going to do anything particularly. The Power Fist is a standard Power Fist, ×2 strength, AP -3, damage D3, and you subtract 1 to hit when you're hitting, which is fine because you're on 2s, so you'll be on 3s, which is fine. So he's pretty tough. He's not incredible, but those wounds and attacks make him like head and shoulders above a normal Chapter Master. You can reroll any failed hit rolls for friendly Crimson Fist units within 6. So the same as Lysander, but it's any failed hit rolls, not rerolls of 1. So it's actually better, which is really cool because he's a Chapter Master, whereas obviously Lysander's a Captain. Iron Halos, he's got 4+ Invuln. And Oath of Rin. All friendly Crimson Fist models add 1 to their attack characteristics within 6 inches. So beholdens you to put him with a combat unit, or at least a unit you don't mind getting into combat. So Terminators will all of a sudden have 3 attacks each, which will be really nice. So maybe unit Terminators with him, which would be really nice. So just to go back to it, sorry, I made a mistake earlier. All captains have Rites of Battle, which is reroll 1s for friendly Imperial Fist units. Chapter Masters have reroll all failed hits within 6 inches, because obviously Lysander's only a captain. So Pedro will now set you back 170. So he's actually a little bit more expensive than Lysander, which is interesting because he'd lose in a fight to Lysander, and actually the rules for Lysander, and he's less survivable than Lysander, and the rules are pretty similar, but the reroll all failed hits, not just 1s, is nice. And I think it all, basically, whether he's worth it all comes down to what unit you put him with. If you put him with a unit of Terminators in a Land Raider, that 1 extra attack is so good that he's worth the 170. If you put him in a Stern Guard squad that's going to sit at the back of the board and pepper people, not that that's a bad idea or not fluffy, it's cool. That extra attack's not really going to be used, nor some 170 seems a bit like, that's quite expensive because characters have got cheaper for the most part now. So 170 is quite a lot. That's like the old 200 points. So that's Pedro. We've then got the 3 Black Templars. So we've got High Marshal Halbrecht. So these are obviously I'm doing at the moment Primaris Black Templars. So I'm quite interested in these because there's no reason why I can't include these guys. So we'll see how they do. Same stat line actually again as Lysander and Pedro Cantor. He's just got that 6-inch move like Pedro. He has the Sword of the High Marshals, a Combi Melter and Frag and Crack Grenades with Beam Through Frag and Crack Grenades. He's also got a... Oh, sorry, I went for the Combi Melter. So the Combi Melter, obviously you can shoot both weapons now, but you subtract 1 to hit. So pretty much always can shoot the Melter Gun. So the Melter Gun's just a standard Melter Gun, 12 inches, Assault 1, Strength 8, AP -4 and D6 damage. Roll 2 damage dice and pick the highest if you're in half range. The bolt gun is a standard bolt gun, 24 inches, rapid fire 1, strength 4, AP dash damage 1. So a little bit of a help there, but nothing particular. Sword of the High Marshals, +1 strength, makes him strength 5, which is quite nice. It's AP -3, so it's like a power weapon, but it does do D3 damage, which is nice. He also gets D3 additional attacks to his weapon if he charges. So a bit unpredictable there with the D3 damage and D3 additional attacks rather than damage 2 or 3 or 2 or 3 extra attacks guaranteed, but there is some potential there. They Shall Know No Fear, Iron Halo for 4+ Invuln. He gets the reroll, he gets the Chapter Master rule, so reroll any failed hit rolls for friendly Black Templars within 6. And Crusade of Wrath, which is all friendly Black Templars within 6, get +1 strength, which is quite an undervalued thing. You know, you think, oh, strength, but Black Templars are obviously a combat army, so having a whole army being strength 5 or higher if they're already higher, but your average Marine would be strength 5s. It's quite nice because you'll be hitting on 3s, and now you're wounding most things on 3s as well. So it's quite a nice little combo that, and he's letting them reroll failed hits. So you're hitting on 3s, re-rolling failed hits, then you're wounding on 3s probably as well. So it's a nice little combo. Halbrecht will set you back 170 again. So again, kind of near the top range of character points. I mean, the stat line is really good. They have a great stat line. The Sword of the High Marshals is decent, if a bit unpredictable. Again, I think like Pedro, as long as you build around these rules, again, put him with the unit Terminators, all of a sudden they're running in. They've only got 2 attacks, but all of a sudden they're rerolling the hits. Add on to their strength will make their Thunderhammer strength 10. It would also mean Lightning Claw Marines are strength 5, rerolling wounds. So as long as he's with the right unit, again, he's worth it. Otherwise, he's probably slightly expensive. Again, if he's just going to be with like a Crusade squad, etc. We've then got the Emperor's Champion, one of the coolest models and coolest bits of background characters, I think, in the whole Codex. He's movement 6, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 3+, strength, toughness and wounds, and attacks 4. Leadership 8 and 2+ saves, so it's quite a nice stat line for not a very expensive guy, because he's only power level 4, so he's not going to be too expensive. He's a black sword, bolt pistol, frag and crack grenades, so frag and crack grenades are going to be done. Bolt pistol's just a 12-inch bolt gun. The black sword gives him +2 strength, which is strength 6, AP -3, damage D3, and he can reroll failed wound rolls when attacking with his weapon if the target is a character or a monster. Again, it's an unpredictable rule. Do they have a character? Do they have a monster? Can I manage to get him in combat with them? But most armies will have, well, all armies will have a character, obviously, but may have multiple characters, and quite a lot of them have monsters, demon princes, tyrannid, monstrous creatures. So it's not, it should be useful in most games, but it is about getting him in position to that. So again, the Emperor's Champion, to take advantage of that, maybe get him in a Storm Raven with a squad, because then you can throw him at a character or at a monster, because he does have other rules that work well with that. So, and they show no fear. Sigismund's Honour, add 1 to the Emperor's Champion strength, and attacks while he's within 1 inch of an enemy character. So he'd suddenly become, well, with his weapon, strength 7 and have 5 attacks. So you see what I mean about having a Storm Raven and being able to target who he attacks, because all of a sudden then he is becoming a bit of a tank. He's becoming a bit of a boss attacking wise. Defensively, solid, because he has a 4+ invuln as well, but the 4 wounds is you know, not an incredible amount. You can roll any failed hit rolls made from more in the fight phase when attacking enemy characters. So literally, normally he's okay. He's a decent lieutenant character, but also in a challenge he's horrendous. All of a sudden he's strength 7 with 5 attacks, hitting on 2s, -3 to your save. He does D3 damage. You're rerolling failed wounds and you're rerolling the failed hits. So yeah, and I know he's cheap. He's 75 points. So if you can aim that guy, if you can aim him at a character in like a Storm Raven, like say, or something like that. I know it's a lot to pay for him, but obviously you'd put him with some Terminators or something worthy of a Storm Raven. He piles in with 5 Thunderhammer Storm Shield Terminators. Whatever character you're attacking, if he's like a big character like an Avatar, or whatever character you're attacking if he's buried in a squad, that squad and the character are going to have a tough time about it. I mean, not saying these will beat anything or anything like that, but it's going to hurt. You know, it's not going to be easy to get rid of them. So again, well worth considering. He's only 75 points, so he is very cheap, really, for what he can potentially do. So we've got Chaplain Graham. Very cool character. If you've ever not read Hell's Reach and you like the books, get Hell's Reach. Graham in that is incredible, incredibly cool. So if you can go out and get that, just as a side point on the background there. Stat line: he is movement 6, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 3+, strength, toughness, wounds 4, 3 attacks, leadership 9, and a 3+ save. Comes with a Crozius Arcanum, plasma pistol, frag and crack grenades. The plasma pistol is 12 inches either way, pistol 1 either way. It's strength 7, AP 3, damage 1 normally. If you supercharge, it goes up a strength, it goes up a damage, but on a 1, he's slain. So obviously not really worth risking that with a character, because it does say he is slain. Crozius Arcanum is +1 strength, so he'll be strength 5, AP -1, damage 2. I don't think too much of the Crozius is. I think they're okay, and his comes with him, so it's not like you're paying for it. But the +1 strength, not +2, and the AP -1, but not AP -2. The damage 2 is great. Damage 2 is nice, no complaints there. But especially as he's only got 3 attacks as well, you just sort of go, oh, it was so close to being a really good weapon, and it just wasn't. It'd be great if they gave him a special Crozius, like Graham Crozius. That'd have been cool. He has a Nation No Fear, a 4+ invuln, and then he has Litanies of Hate, which is the standard Chaplain rule, which is you can reroll any failed hit rolls in the fight phase for Black Templars within 6 inches. So it's like the Chapter Master rule, but it's only fight phase. So not too bad. You're a Black Templar, you're going to be charging forward anyway. Spiritual Leader. Any friendly Black Templar units that within 6 inches can use his leadership from morale. So again, he's leadership 9, so it'll generally keep them in the fight. So that's quite good. If you ally a lot of these rules with Helbrecht. Extremely expensive to take both, but that could make a Death Starry type unit if you wanted to, because they'd just be rerolling literally everything. And finally, Unmatched Seal. If you roll a hit roll of 6+ in the fight phase for a friendly Black Templars unit within 6 inches of Chaplain Graham, you can immediately make 1 additional attack with that model. The further attacks don't generate any more attacks. So it's quite nice. Again, you know, not so much maybe a Terminator thing, because you're only going to get like 10 attacks. I mean, you're still going to roll 1 or 2 6s, so extra attacks are no bad thing. So it still kind of works there, but that's more the type of one you want with that Crusade squad, where you're going to charge in with like 50 Marines out of a Land Raider Crusader. You've got 45 attacks between them all, or whatever it would be, and all of a sudden you're rolling like 8, 9 6s, so you're getting 10 extra attacks for free. It is pretty cool. So Grimoldus is 120. So he's not quite as good in combat as some of the other guys, but actually as a support hero, he's pretty good, and he can handle himself a little bit in combat. And I think for 120 points, he's worth it again, as long as you take advantage of these auras and put him with the right squad. I know I'm repeating that a lot, but that very much seems to be the way the characters are built in 8th. Now we've seen a Codex. It's some of them are really nails, but majority it's who do you put them with to take advantage of what they do for you. So we're going to go on to the chapter tactics. So we're going to go through all the little things, chapter tactics, relics, things like that for each of these specific chapters. So Dorn's Descendants. So Black Templars reroll failed charges is their chapter tactic. It's good because they are a combat army, but and also it helps with those 9-inch away deep strikes. But I must admit, I think it's a little soft. If it was reroll failed charges and then they got something like Hammer of Wrath, or reroll failed charges and you add 1 or 2 to your charge or something like that, just be a bit more definite. So it's okay, it's solid, but it's nothing special. And then the Imperial Fist one, which obviously the Crimson Fist would follow as well, is exceptional. So you can reroll any failed wound rolls for Imperial Fist units with this tactic when they're targeting a building. That's the second bit, that's the siege bit. Cool, fluffy, not really going to use it that much. But enemy units that do not receive the benefit, enemy units do not receive the benefit to their saving throws for being in cover against attacks from Imperial Fists. So it's brilliant. It's that +1 to your armor save, you get in cover, not anymore. So if I got -1, your cover isn't just stopping that. All of a sudden you're not getting your cover and I get my -1. So I think the Imperial Fist chapter psych, I think is fantastic. Really good. The Black Templar one is solid. I don't think it's poor, it's solid. The Black Templar's stratagem, Abhor the Witch, is really cool. So it's 1 command point. So this is flip side for Black Templars. I think this is really good. Use the stratagem when an enemy psyker manifests a psychic power within 24 inches of any friendly Black Templar unit. So it is a lot of the board. You think 24 inches from any unit. Roll a d6 on a 4+, that psychic power is resisted by the sheer willpower of your unit. So that's really cool. So, you know, if you've got 7 or 8 stratagems in your army, you know, you could do 2 or 3 of those a game, and you're going to pass 1.5 on average. And, you know, you're just going to get just that vital moment when they do that really nasty psychic power, and you're like, I can't afford to let this go off. You can throw that out there, which is, you know, pretty cool, because, you know, you can't have librarians. And it's very fluffy. I like, you know, their force of will resists psychic power. You got 1 command point, and it's Bolter Drill. It's the Imperial Fist one. Again, the Crimson Fists, I think, follow this one. They don't have their own. Using this stratagem, just before an Imperial Fist infantry unit attacks in the shooting phase, each time you make a hit roll of 6+ for a model firing a bolt weapon, that model can immediately make another hit roll using the same weapon at the same target. Bonus attacks don't generate more attacks. And Pedro Cantor's Dawn's Arrow counts as a bolt weapon for this. So, again, pretty nice if you need a really good round of shooting, especially if you've got a Devastator squad with heavy bolters, because it says it counts for any bolt weapon. So you could fire, 5 heavy bolters, and then any 6s you get, you can fire them again. So again, pretty cool. It's not insane, but it is good, and again, nice and fluffy, and it's very Imperial Fist. So yeah, the Crimson Fist don't have their own one of those. Warlord traits. So we're going to do the generic table later, but again, for now, just sticking to the theme of Dorn's Descendants. Imperial Fists, Architect of War. Friendly Imperial Fist units within 6 inches of your Warlord that are receiving the benefit of cover add an additional +1 to the saving throws against attacks with AP characteristic of -1. So again, as with previous codex, the Imperial Fists, like added things, are awesome. They have an awesome chapter tactic, they have a solid stratagem, and now they're a Warlord trait. How good is that? Everyone within 6 inches receive the benefit of cover and an additional +1 if you've got AP -1. So I've got AP -1, cool, I ignore it effectively. It is how it looks. There is an FAQ way in there, I think, because it does say against attacks with AP characteristic of -1. So if it goes higher, do you not get it? Is sort of the question. I presume not. It is worded right. It does say AP characteristic of -1 and nothing else. But you do feel like it should be or higher, perhaps. But it might be that they're saying that powerful things like heavy bolters you can stop against by being a good strategist, a good architect of war. But it doesn't matter how big the wall is, you're not going to stop a Vindicator shell. So perhaps that is how it's supposed to be. Crimson Fist, tenacious opponent. If there are at least 10 enemy models within 6 inches of your warlord in the fight phase, he adds D3 to his attacks. So that's quite cool. I mean, it's better against certain armies like orcs and things like that. But D3 extra attacks, especially for someone like Pedro Cantor, although I think he has his own. But you know, if you make a beefcake character, is pretty good. So it's a little bit more unpredictable than the Imperial Fist one, but it's pretty good. And then the Black Templars is Oath Keeper. Your warlord can perform heroic intervention if the enemy are within 6 inches rather than 3. So he can basically affect more units. So again, the Black Templar one's probably the lesser one, but they're all solid enough. They're not too bad. And then just to go through the relics, you have the Crusader's Helm. Black Templars model, the wearer of the Crusader's Helm increases the range of any aura abilities by 3. I do like that. Rights Battle is a hate by 3, so they suddenly become 9-inch bubbles. So I do like that, although you're not going to be holding a line like the Imperial Fist. That is good, the Crusader's Helm. These are all free, by the way. They just replace something your character's already got. So the chapter relics are all free, which is really cool, little bonuses. The Spartian is a pistol. It's an Imperial Fist. 12 inches, pistol 2, strength 4, AP -1, damage 2, and you can target characters. This is the first one that the Imperial Fist thinks is a little disappointing. The damage 2 is nice, but again, AP -1, strength 4, pistol 2, 12-inch range. I don't really see what it's going to do that's going to make you take... I mean, again, it's free, so you might as well take it instead of a pistol, so do take it, but you don't expect too much out of it, really. And then finally, the Crimson Fist one is the Fist of Vengeance, which is basically a power fist, but it's got guaranteed damage 3, which is really nice, and it hasn't got the -1 to hit. So the Crimson Fist one's really good. Power fist, but guaranteed damage 3, no -1 to hit, which is really nice. So that's the first part of the Space Marine Codex review, Dorn's Descendants. The next part will cover... I'm trying to split this up so you can all... Because it's such a big codex, I want you to be able to all skip to the ones you're more interested in. That's why I'm breaking it up like this. So let me know whether you think that's a good idea. The next thing I'm going to do is Ultramarines and their descendants, and look at all the same stuff we've looked at in this video. But let me know what you think of this video. Let me know if you like the fact it's all split up so you can just find what you need rather than having to wait through a 2.5-hour video to get to the Black Templars. Let me know what you think of the Codex, what you think of those rules. Put it in the comments section. Please like and subscribe to the video. Obviously, it just lets me know you guys are enjoying it. Obviously, the more subscribers to the channel, the more videos I can do, and the more I know, like I say, you guys are enjoying the content. And I should be getting part 2 of this out really soon, probably the same time as part 1, because I'm really excited about the Space Marine Codex and I really want to get stuck into it. So I hope you enjoyed the video, everybody, and I will see you next time.